Thank you, Madam Chair. I have known Gigi Sohn for 30 years. Ms. Sohn is one of the single most qualified candidates for any position to ever come before the Commerce Committee for confirmation. We knew that before Ms. Sohn testified before this committee in December of 2021 as President Biden's nominee for the FCC based on her decades of service protecting the public interest, that she had an outstanding record. And we certainly know that now, as Ms. Sohn comes before the committee for a third time, that her record is historically good. Since President Biden selected Ms. Sohn, she has become the subject of smears, double standards, and personal attacks. And let's be clear, it's not just Ms. Sohn who has suffered during this process. The American people have suffered as well, because in the time when telecommunications policy and broadband are more important than ever, the Federal Communications Commission, the expert agency, has been missing a commissioner. And without Ms. Sohn, the FCC has been unable to take critical steps to close the digital divide, make sure the internet remains free and open for everyone, protects consumers, and ends the homework gap once and for all for American children. So make no mistake, every day that Ms. Sohn goes without being on the FCC is a win for giant telecommunications companies and their army of lobbyists here in Washington, D.C. It is a loss for the American people. And why do the giant companies oppose Ms. Sohn? Because she believes in Darwinian, paranoia-inducing competition in the telecommunications field. She believes in consumer protections. Those giant incumbent companies want to change the name to incumbent communications companies. They don't believe in competition, and they don't believe in consumer protections. And that's why they don't want Gigi Sohn on the committee. So I would like to actually, for the record, introduce the 400 individuals and organizations who are supporting her for the record.
Without objection.
Thank you. And I would like to turn to you, Ms. Sohn, with the remainder of my time and give you an opportunity to respond to any of the accusations that have already been made about you in this committee.
Yeah, I'd actually like to address something that Senator Thune talked about an alleged leak at the FCC. And what he's talking about was an Inspector General report, 2016, 7 years ago, where the Inspector General found that because Chairman Wheeler had authorized me to speak to the press about something that was non-public, that it became public. So there was no leak, and the Inspector General cleared everybody of wrongdoing. So I think it's really important to understand that when you're talking about my honesty and integrity, the IG report found no wrongdoing, and there was no leak. That is a meme that keeps getting repeated, and that just frankly drives me a little bit nuts. The other thing that I wanted to discuss was back to the low-caste case. The low-caste case was never about money. Even before I joined the board in 2019, 2 months after the case was filed, the parties agreed that this case was not about piracy, that it was about whether low-caste qualified for an exemption as a nonprofit under the copyright law. And that's why this case has never been about money. What the networks wanted and why they settled was because they wanted low-caste gone. And that $32 million was just put in a public document in order to scare away the next low-caste.
Meaning that they wanted to ensure that there was a deterrent to any other competitors that might want to get into the communication sector. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, so $32 million was what the plaintiffs could have gotten had we gone to trial, okay, and we appealed. We decided not to appeal, even though, frankly, the case was weak. The networks were delighted. In fact, they were pressuring us to settle because it was such a weak decision.
So you settled, or Locast settled because of the incumbent telecommunications companies that wanted to settle.
Yes, so, and that's the other thing. A settlement is an agreement between two parties. That's why it kind of, I find it odd to call it a sweetheart deal. You're talking on one side about the most powerful networks, right? The 4 broadcast networks, and I think there were some other broadcasters as well, versus this little nonprofit that had a $2 million budget. I mean, it's a settlement. It's an agreement between two parties. It's not a sweetheart deal. I think the broadcasters got exactly what they wanted. Locast did not get what it wanted. Locast wanted to stay in business.
There are so many red herrings against your candidacy. We might have to put an aquarium here in the well of the committee to be able to accommodate them all. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.